Do it.
where it was round 2. West Wales 12, Rochdale 52. And then in a historic match, it finished North Wales 62, Cornwall 22.
Yeah, we've got a few fan views in on this one, Sarah, so we'll have to rotate. At Mike Webb 58 said, didn't look good at 30-0, but spirited comeback from Cornwall. Equally good to see North Wales becoming a credible force. Best part of the coverage was the brilliant shot of the ground and the sun over Liverpool Bay.
Dr. Hideous said, I expected a kicking, and with the score of 18-0 after 12 minutes, I was all smug about being a rugby prophet. But when they got the ball, Cornwall was surprisingly good. In defence, they were brave but too bold, repeatedly breaking their defensive line and leaving big holes for Crusaders to sail through. But they've barely trained together, let alone played together, so I forgive them. Looking forward to my trip there.
Mark Butler said, got to something like the score we expected, slightly the long way round. Crusaders, aka the entertainers, steadily racked up points for the first 30 minutes, and it could have got ugly. They were charitable early in the second half, and Cornwall took advantage to make it more interesting for a bit. A tantalising 12-point gap didn't last for long, but it took a late flurry to put the gloss on the scoreline.
Yeah, and Shoddy and Munger, Alan said, this looked very ominous at 18-0 in the first 15 minutes, but Cornwall showed some skill and shape in attack and fully deserved their 22 points. Tiredness inevitably set in for a final score that was a bit harsh. Still, lots of defensive work to do for Kelly, but in truth, a decent start.
Yeah, I watched the first half an hour or so, and then I went to the shop, and I came back and I was like, hold on. How's this competitive all of a sudden? It wasn't when I went.
Yeah.
One of the things to say is North Wales were scoring tries when they were down to 12 men a couple of times as well, so that highlights the defensive deficiencies with Cornwall. And I do also think like there was a few things early on in attack where they had some chances, but the halfback didn't pass to anyone. He either kicked for himself or dummied and tried to go himself, and so there are clearly things to work on. But the fact that they got 22 points, the fact that they, had a spell where they were the better team in the game for a period after half time is promising for a team that have probably, it's the first time they've ever played together, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So they're gonna get better from here. And North Wales will probably be a bit disappointed that they conceded so many in the end.
Yeah, I dipped in and out because Saturday was Anna's birthday, so we had people around. So I watched bits and pieces of it. And yeah, I definitely watched the first few, to 18-0 and thought, oh, right, well,
Yeah.
not worth watching anymore. But then, like you say, it was good to see that Cornwall's heads didn't go and everything else. So very pleasing, I think.
Yep.
It also finished Hunslet 22, Oldham 22, Keighley 26, Doncaster 6, and the Midlands 16, Swinton 54.
We're not going to bother with the standings after only 2 rounds in League One, so I think we move on to the wheelchair game.
Yeah, so the wheelchair Super League was round 4, and it finished Warrington 34, Halifax 104, North Wales 54, Wigan 92, Leeds 114, Hull FC 24.
Yeah, in terms of the standing, Wigan are top on points difference from Halifax, although Halifax have a game in hand still, so they're unbeaten. Both are on 6 points. Leeds and London have 4 points, Warrington have 2 points, and North Wales and Hull FC are still waiting to get off the mark. There is a bit of wheelchair news that England wheelchair will host France in a mid-season international, which is going to be live on Sky Sports ahead of this year's Wheelchair World Cup. The match will take place on the international weekend when the men and the women are both playing on the Saturday at Warrington, and this game's on the Sunday, the 19th of June, at Manchester Basketball Centre. Kick-off 3:45 p.m.
Excellent. And it was round 4 in the NRL, and it finished the Titans 8, West Tigers 6, the Sharks 18, Knights 0, Panthers 26, Rabbitohs 12, the Warriors 20, Broncos 6, Seagulls 25, the Raiders 6, the Cowboys 4, the Roosters 28, Storm 44, Bulldogs 0, and the Eels 48, the Dragons 14.
Panthers are top with the only 100% record remaining after 4 rounds. The Storm, the Eels and the Sharks are all on 6 points. 8 teams have 4 points. Cowboys, Roosters, Warriors, Knights, Titans, Seagulls, Broncos and Raiders. Rabbitohs and Bulldogs and Dragons all have 2 points, so they've got a win, but the West Tigers don't. They're bottom and pointless. We did get something in on one other game, our now customary Sheffield Eagles wheelchair game. This was in the Wheelchair Championship North. They were hosting the Dundee Dragons, and Sheffield player Sean, aka Bruiser664, got in touch. He said, due to a late COVID withdrawal for Dundee, Sheffield agreed to play 4 versus 4. Unfortunately, Dundee's 4 were all Scotland internationals who were able to make better use of the extra gaps and proved too much for the Eagles. Sheffield were able to add to their growing list of try scorers after Stacey Rulson collected Vicky Rooks' chip over the top to go in over in the corner. Final score was 88-4 in favour of the Dundee Dragons. So yeah, thanks for telling us about that one, Sean.
Yeah.
Next time, put the score in so I don't have to go and look it up, though. That's other results covered from across the world of rugby league. We're now going to move on to make our guesses for the Challenge Cup quarterfinals. Predictions time, Scoots, and it is the Challenge Cup quarterfinals, and pleasingly both our sides are still in those quarterfinals, so let's get to it. Because it's no games till Friday, we don't have the team lineup, so we can only really speculate about who's going to be available or not. 7:45 on Friday on Premier Sports is the first quarterfinal. Hull KR hosting Castleford. Hull KR will be out without... No, Castleford will be without George Lawler against his former club, won't they? And yeah. But Hull KR, I think, are hoping Jordan Abdul will be back for them. Albert Vette still out though for them. What do you reckon to this one then? Do you think Radford can go and beat his childhood team here, or do you think the Robins are in good enough form to grab a win?
You see, if it was anybody else apart from Radford, I think I'd be going for a Rovers win. But I just think Radford will get the team up and they'll build on last week. Yeah, they'll. Yeah, they will build on last week's win. Sorry, I then had a mental blank of did they win. Yeah, I think he will manage to string a couple of wins together, but I think for Radford, he is about the specific matches.
Yeah, the one-off games, yeah.
This will be one for him.
It's a coin toss game for me. I think both teams have picked up form in the last 2 or 3 weeks compared to how they started the season, so that just makes it even harder to predict. And I'm just going to go with home advantage. I think I'm going to go Hull KR by 4. Purely home advantage. I think they're very even going into this game, so it should be a cracker. I won't be able to watch it. I think I'm out on Friday night, but I'll try and catch up on it on a replay maybe on Saturday morning or something.
Yeah, I think I'm in, so may see if I can get on and watch that.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll be reluctantly cheering on Lee Radford and his Castleford side.
Yeah.
Saturday, 2:30 p.m, BBC One. I think we'll all be able to watch this one. It's nationally broadcast. Catalans versus St Helens. I don't know if they'll be over in France for it, the BBC, but they'll be bringing it to us. And it's a big game between, two of the best sides, but one of them is the best side. They've kept Walmsley wrapped up last week to make sure he didn't get any more injured, saving him for this game and Good Friday, I think. So with Walmsley back, I doubt that Catalans will be able to bounce back enough from their loss last week. It'll be a good test to see how much they've improved from that drubbing they got in round 1, but I think Saints will win I'll go Saints by 10.
Yeah, I was thinking Saints by 12. I think there is always the chance that, Sam could pull some magic out of somewhere, or
Pierce will be back, won't he, from his ban? So that'll help him. Yeah.
Yeah. So but I think Saints will be too strong.
Fair enough. After that, 5 p.m. on Saturday, back over on Premier Sports. This one, I think, another coin toss game: Huddersfield versus your Hull FC. I'll let you go first on how you think your boys will fare.
I mean, it's a tricky one because obviously we beat them the other week in what was quite a dour game. This week, Reynolds should be back. And obviously Gale's back.
Do you think that Lovadua missed tackle on field might be enough to actually get Reynolds back in the side? Because it'd be a bit harsh to drop Lovadua from based on everything else he's been putting out there on the pitch in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, but Ben McNamara was dropped for Luke Gale, and to be honest, I think since Gale's been out, McNamara's played very well. Yeah. I think Lovadua will go maybe to loose forward.
Okay.
I think he'll still certainly be in the 17, if not the 13. But I do think that Reynolds will get the nod over him. I don't know if Carlos will be back. He obviously played one game and then was injured again, but it was a different injury.
It seemed precautionary.
Yeah.
It felt like, but from the comments I've read, but yeah, you don't know for sure, do you?
I think McIntosh is meant to be back this weekend as well. So again, that's another obviously player playing his old team.
Well, he played against us.
Yes, he did. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
And he looked fine. Yeah.
Yeah, he was back last week, and Reynolds this week. Yeah. So again, that's right. He didn't play in the Huddersfield match last time, but will be playing this time. And that's always interesting, isn't it? Seeing players against their old team. Same with Connor, and then conversely, you've got Josh Jones playing for Huddersfield. I think if we turn up and play, we will win.
Yeah, I think a lot will come down to if Hill and Ikehefo can play to the level that they played against Catalans, then that'll be a real good battle between them two and Satai and Sau. Farge will be starting. He'll be much better for having the 60-minute or so run out last week, and he looked good. So probably alongside Cogger, it looks like, and he didn't have a bad game either in his first game back last week. So Huddersfield should be confident.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, for all that I slate Gale, hopefully, he's been out for 5 weeks. He's had a match back, so hopefully that'll improve him.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. It's pretty even game again. I'm gonna go just with home advantage again. Although Huddersfield don't have as much home advantage, there might be as many Hull FC fans there as Huddersfield fans. You never know. But they know their environments at home. They know
their cowbells there.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Huddersfield by 4, very much similar to that Hull KR Castleford game. I think they are 2 evenly matched games. Okay, last game, Sunday 2:30 p.m. On BBC 2. The draw will be made at half-time of this for the semi-final lineups, but it's the pressing matter of the day will be Wakefield versus Wigan. An in-form Wakefield playing some very entertaining rugby against a Wigan side who aren't doing too bad this year either themselves. I guess Tom Johnston will be fit. They took him off to protect him so that he has a chance of playing in this game. Whereas for Wigan, it looks more uncertain whether Liam Marshall will be fit. Willie Isa, I'm not sure about either. French will come in and start on the wing in this game. I think that'll happen anyway, whether Marshall's back or not. So, that'll give another dimension to Wigan, giving him more chance to influence the game. He didn't do a great deal. We didn't even talk about him, did we? Really?
No.
In the game against Hull FC this week, all he did really was those 2 tackles in the last set of the game, I think. But that's an added dimension for Wigan. That could be interesting. It might be directly lined up against Johnston as well, which makes for a lot of build up for the BBC to focus on there anyway in that matchup. That's for certain. I like the way Wigan's forwards are playing. I like